Running a product-based business is not for the faint of heart. You must make an investment to get your goods manufactured before you can start selling them. So you got to spend money to make money. And those upfront costs can be a significant chunk of change. So in today's video, I'm going to break down those costs for you so you know what you're going to be faced with down the road. Let's dive in. Hey there, I'm Heather Harris, founder of Copper Bottom Design Co., a boutique product development agency that helps creative entrepreneurs just like you create beautiful and functional planner products. If you're thinking about adding a planner to your product line, congratulations, I am so excited for you. The planner industry is continuing to grow even though technology is taking over our lives, and I think it's a great idea to start selling a planner with your unique design. But before you take the plunge, I want to give you the details on how much your investment's going to be. So let's start with the big one, manufacturing. Now, I specialize in manufacturing planners in China. The costs I'm going to be talking about today are based on overseas manufacturing. If you're wondering why manufacture overseas, I've got a few videos back that goes into the pros and cons of manufacturing in China versus the US. So if you're interested in that, I explain all the details there. Go check it out. So how much does it cost to print your planners? Well, a planner like this one is your weekly wire-bound planner, about that thick. It's weekly layout. It has tabs, and this is a sample, so I chopped off the elastic, but this typically has an elastic band around it to hold it together. This is one of the most popular planner formats today, I think, selling out there today, and most people want this kind of planner. To print about 500 of this type of planner in China is about $15. To print 1,000 of them, about $12, and 1,500 of them can be about $10. As you can see, the unit cost goes down as the quantity goes up. Why does this happen? This happens because the printing process involves a lot of setup. You're using these huge printing presses that you put all the ink into, and huge sheets of paper get fed through this press, and really, really quickly. And in the beginning of the process, the press techs are moving the gauges of the color to tweak the color and get it just right to match your files and match what the colors you want them to be like. As they're tweaking the colors, the press is shooting out like hundreds of pages of paper. So to get everything right, you've already wasted almost 500 sheets of paper just to tweak the colors. And that's your whole setup. And then they start producing your planner. So if you're only going to print 500 planners, well, there's no more quantities to average out that setup cost, the time, the cost of running the machine, and the wasted paper and ink. So the more you print, the more that setup time and cost can get averaged out over the larger quantity. Make sense? I hope so. Now, I don't want you to get caught up in the pricing per unit game. I mean, I'm all about getting the best unit cost, but ordering a higher quantity isn't necessarily the best way to do that. If you know you can sell more, then by all means, order more. But if you don't have a huge customer base or a big audience, proceed with caution. Do you have space for 10,000 planners in your studio apartment? Maybe not. So you might be getting them for maybe $6, but then you have to sell and store 10,000, potentially throw them away if you don't sell them by a few months into the year. Proceed with caution and be conservative. I always advise my clients to order on the more conservative lower end of the spectrum. So an order for this kind of planner could cost between $7,500 and $15,000. And this does not include a keepsake box, a shipping box, a plastic bookmark, any other bells and whistles that a lot of the planners on the market come with. This is just for the planner. Each one of those extras could be another $2 to $3 per unit that you're adding on to the planner cost. So that's the overall manufacturing of your bulk order of planners. Now, before you even go into that, you're going to need to sample products. I never would order anything from anybody without sampling it. You need to see the quality, the construction, the paper, make sure you like the cover materials you selected, all the above. Sampling can cost maybe around $350, and then you're like miscellaneous FedEx charges to get it to you from China. So it's not cheap, but so worth it. I mean, if you didn't sample and you got a shipment of 500 to 1,000 planners that have like the wrong cover material or paper, or the printing's horrible and the quality it's falling apart. I mean, you just spent $7,500 to $15,000 ordering something that you could have spent $350 to save yourself a headache if it all went wrong. So that's your manufacturing and sampling costs. costs. Now, there are tariffs. I'm sure you've heard about this during the Trump administration. There were tariffs that were imposed on certain categories of goods being imported from China. Planners was one of them, and the tariff rate for planners imported from China is 25%. So on that $10, $12, and $15 unit cost that we just ballparked earlier, a 25% tariff is added to that unit cost. The tariff comes about when you pay the manufacturer for your goods, and then once the goods get into the US, that's when your tariff bill is due. It's usually lumped in with your shipping costs, and you pay those two items together, but you need to keep in mind that when you're getting your price quotes for the $10, $12, or $15 from your manufacturer, you need to keep in mind to add that 25% tariff onto it. Shipping is another area where you're going to pay extra, and it's going to add onto your unit cost. So since COVID, shipping prices have gone up. I'm sure you heard about it in the news. Before COVID, shipping costs were between 7 and 9% the cost of goods. Now they're 25%. It's horrible. They're starting to come down. I have seen them in the lower 20s, but a good base ballpark is 25%. So in addition to the 25% tariff, you should add another 25% onto the unit price to account for shipping. So if you're keeping up with the math, depending on your order quantity, an order of 500 planners at $15 unit cost with an additional 25%, which is $375 for tariffs, another 25% for shipping, and then your sampling and miscellaneous FedEx charges, that order of 500 planners can be about $11,750. For the order of 1,000 planners, that was around $12. You add on the 25% tariff, which is $3, another $3 for shipping, and then your miscellaneous sampling and FedEx charges, you're at $18,500. If you're ordering the 1,500 planners, which in theory can sound like a really great cost savings of $2 per unit because your 1,500 planner order is $10 a unit. But then you add on $250 for the tariffs, $250 for the shipping, your sampling and miscellaneous FedEx charges, and you get up to $23,000. It adds up quickly, doesn't it? So now you know why all the planners you love cost so much money. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in learning about how to price your planners for retail and wholesale. I can definitely do a video on that. So now we know how much this is all going to cost. How do you go about paying a factory in China? For small transactions, like maybe your sampling fee, you can use PayPal. And it's typical that factories charge the PayPal transaction fee as well. So you can pay $350 for the cost of the sample, but then you're also going to have to cover their end of the PayPal transaction fee. It's pretty typical to see that happen. But like I said, totally worth it to get those samples. For any purchases over $500 or so, give or take, most factories request that you pay them cash via a wire transfer. You do a wire transfer from your bank. You tell your bank that you do it in US dollars because you're going to be getting quotes from the factory in US dollars. And so you would have to either go to the bank or set up something online with your bank in order to send this wire transfer. And half is due at the time that you order, and then half is due before shipping. So you're paying your total 100% before the planner products even get on a boat to get shipped to you, which shipping can take, I don't know, anywhere between 6 to 12 weeks now that there's shipping backups due to lovely COVID. You're going to be paying for the products almost 3 months before you see them. So again, another reason to sample. I know it's super scary and a lot of money that you're sending to a company, not to mention a company in China, and you don't know them. So how do you navigate that? Well, I'm here to help. That's what I do for a living. I've been working with manufacturers in China for nearly 20 years to produce planner products. The manufacturers I work with have proved to me to be trusted business partners and friends. I've known some of them for over 10 years. Let us at Copper Bottom Design Co. help you with this scary, but very exciting new venture. Click on the link below to check out my services. I can't wait to take you from dream to day planner. See you next time.